all of that, and I'll probably go off script. Some of you have already talked to me this morning and asked my reactions. You know, between the frustration and the anger, there's a lot of shame. Yeah. I feel very ashamed. I think back on March 15th of this year in the legislative session, and I remember feeling very ashamed of my colleagues on the Senate floor because they were actually erasing all the language from Roe v. Wade that we enacted in 1973 had not been touched since then. And that language protected women, protected people who are pregnant, and protected their freedom and privacy to their own bodies and their decisions. And most importantly, it respected the rights of people who had been victimized by rape and sexual assault and incest. But while I watched my colleagues brush away, as if nothing to see here, this outdated language is what they called it, I said to them it was more than ink on paper and more than crossed out lines. It was crossing out my very human rights. I was very mournful that day because as I stood there, actually before I was pulled from the Senate floor by an objection for the truth, I was mournful. It was a historic day, that day, because I knew they were preparing for today. This day has been plotted by out-of-touch GOP politicians for decades. And we have to respond. And some of you know I have worked decades in the anti-violence movement and with victims of sexual and domestic violence and sexual assault. And to watch my colleagues discuss ideology and the sterile environment of a Senate chamber with disregard of human complexity and choices and the trauma that people experience, I was shamed. But from that shame, we will rise, and as my colleagues have said, we have a duty to fight. Yes. As I said that day on the Senate floor, in tears, full of emotion, we will run this race. We will not relent. We never have. I see people here who have been working in this movement and have fought for my very rights, and we will have you now. What I love about the room today is the variety of ages. I see students, I see early 30s, I see middle-aged, but that's how we win. We must work together intergenerationally and show people that it's not with, it is we are going to do this together. This crowd gone through a variety of emotions today. From tears to anger to frustration to shame, we have to grab onto that and fight like hell, like we have never fought before. And the way to do that, the only way I see in this state, to change the policy, we have to change the politicians in the seat. This state language from Roe v. Wade was that it was outdated. I will tell you what is outdated. Your thoughts, your control, and your subversive acts against my freedom. That is what is outdated. I'm going to end on this note because it's a pretty serious No, we have seen extremism infiltrate our state. We are seeing extremism and hate infiltrate our state. This is not the Idaho I came to in the 90s. This is not the Idaho now. We will push back. We will not accept it.
Yeah.
The problem with that extremism, what I have seen over and over, is that the extremists are pulling my establishment friends into the melee, and they are resigning to the fact of trying to keep their job instead of doing their job. Democratic leaders who have been listening, who've been fighting for property tax relief, fighting for our schools, fighting for our bodily autonomy, fighting for everyday Idahoans. That is the way to change, and that is what we must do. So I implore you, everyone who is listening, vote, because your life does depend on it. I have We should probably end there, but I did get a text from the mayor. And we know that she is a staunch supporter, so I want to read just a brief statement from her. She's at a college graduation, actually, and so she can't be here today. So this is what she said. The news from home is unsurprising, but no less devastating. My heart is unspeakably heavy as I type this. In the wake of this decision, and as hundreds and thousands of Idahoans lose access to basic bodily autonomy and essential health care. It will be more important now than ever to stand strong for every last one of us. I remain steadfast in my support for all people who need access to abortion care and their right to privacy in health care decisions. Upon returning home, I will have more to share about Boise's role in this fight, but for now, I stand in solidarity with the brave women and leaders in front of me today. Thank you, Mayor.